So I'll tell you a short Taoist story for today's Qigong and Tai Chi practice. The story goes that once there was a samurai who wanted to find the final answer to everything he'd been learning. And he'd been learning for a long time and got many skills. And he'd heard that there was a great teacher that lived far away at the top of a high mountain that had the final answer he might be looking for. So he went on a long journey. Took him many days. Finally, he got right to the top of the mountain, found the monk, sat down, and he proceeded to tell the monk of everything he'd learned and all of his skills and all of his victories. And then he said, "I have come a long way to visit you, master. Please give me the final bit of knowledge that I need." And the monk said, "Just sit down and have a cup of tea with me." Placed the cup and picked up the pot of tea and started to pour, and the cup started to fill. And then when it got to the top of the cup, the monk just kept pouring, and the samurai started to get very agitated and said, "Master, can't you see the cup is full?" And the monk kept pouring and said, "Can't you see that you are too full of your own opinions, your own pride, your own knowledge? First, you must empty out." So you might like to just take a deep sigh. Just a sense of letting go of anything fixed. It might be our sense of self, our sense of identity. How can we create space, make room for whatever is next? First, we have to let go. So I'd invite you to take your attention down below the feet. Our acupressure point for today is kidney number 1, our Yongchen point. It's right underneath the balls of your feet, in between the first and second toe, just behind the ball of the feet. See if you can press down through that. It's quite a distinct point underneath the foot. Bring your attention there. You might also be able to feel your toes or your heels, but feel like you're pressing down underneath the ball of the foot. This is the start of our kidney meridian. Our kidney meridian runs up the inside of our leg, up to the front of our body. You might like to also just notice the breath, maybe the breath underneath the upper hand and the chest. And then notice the breath underneath the abdomen, the belly. And see if you can focus your attention underneath the lower hand so that you have this feeling of center of gravity, of lower body, connection to the ground. So the breath is predominantly under the lower hand, not the top hand. Belly rising and falling. You might notice as you focus your breath a little bit closer to the center of the body, you might notice this feeling of stability. Okay, so the fourth principle of Yang Cheng Fu's 10 principles for Tai Chi is to distinguish between solid and empty. Sometimes it might be referred to as heaviness and lightness, or substantial and insubstantial. And the way this works in our practice is in our stance. So you might like to right now, let's take our arms down. And just shift your weight onto one leg. This leg that we have just shifted our weight over becomes our yang leg, and this side becomes our yin. If we shift our weight to the other side, just go with me, then this side becomes our solid, this side becomes our empty. So just take your time just shifting from one side to the other. Yang, solid, substantial. Just feel it as you switch. And then notice the side where there's no weight, no pressure. This is our yin side, our empty side, our insubstantial side. And notice how we're moving from one to the other. Now, one of the most difficult concepts to grasp in Tai Chi is this idea that if you have your balance on one leg, you're better off than if you have your balance on two. Seems not to make much sense. Surely if I have 2 feet heavy, I am more balanced and more stable. But Tai Chi teaches us that we always have to move. We're always moving between yin and yang. The definition of life is movement, change. We have to be agile and adaptable. Can you imagine being able to walk balanced on 2 legs? You would have to walk kind of like this. Don't try and do this at home. It doesn't really work, right? We can't be balanced as soon as we need to move. When do we need to move? Always, because we are alive. So I'd invite you just to think of, yes, I feel stable when I have 2 legs, but actually I'm a little slower to react. I'm a little stuck. I'm a little slower to be able to move. So when I'm on one leg, I am more agile, I am more active, I am more able to react to whatever comes in. So this is one of the reasons we do Tai Chi, just to find this sense of embodiment into this idea of stability. So today we'll do a bunch of warm-ups, and then we'll do a form called the horse's mane. Very famous Tai Chi form that you will have seen many times, I'm sure. Maybe you've seen someone do it in the park. We'll focus on this form, the 4th form of our sequence that we're learning. But before we do that, of course, as always, let's warm up. We'll start beneath our feet. Press down through that Yong Chen point again. You might like to have the back of the knees be a little soft, the knees bent. And just start by maybe rolling weight from one side to the other, waking up toes. Let's even lift the heel and then switch to the other side. Press through the ball of the foot, come up off the floor, just like a prancing pony. You'll notice that you're switching on your calf muscles. You're working your Achilles tendon. All right, let's bring our legs together, feet together. Maybe cut the knees, very small circles. Remembering that our knee is a hinge joint, doesn't really like moving in many directions, generally just hinging forward and back. Let's slowly come up. We're going to take one foot out, take the heel down to the ground, and we'll sweep our hand across the body, maybe touch the shin or the toes, keep the back straight. Let's lift up, lift the hand all the way up. When it's above the body, we're going to step back, and then we'll step our other leg out, reach across, Lift the hand up, lift the head up, follow the fingers up. When the hand is up, step back. So we're using our hands to guide our vision and our balance and our attention. And just notice this feeling of just being on one leg. One leg is solid. One leg is heavy. The other leg is light. Keep going side to side. Keep breathing. And of course, you'll feel that strong sensation in your hamstring and the back of the leg. Just notice that there. We'll do one more each side. And bring your arms down. We'll take our hands to the waist, rolling the hips. You might like to go back the other direction. Let's come up straight. We'll roll our shoulders both directions. Let's take both arms out wide. We'll roll the arms. And then we'll clap the hands up above the head and then take them all the way behind the body. Keep going. And you drop the shoulders down. Feel that weight in the heels. One more time. Let's bring our arms down by the side. Roll one hand down just outside the knee. Keep going. Take a breath in as you come up. Sigh out as you roll down. And we'll do one more each side. All right, let's wrap our elbows and loose fists in front of the body. Curl the spine in, tuck the chin in, take a breath. As we sigh out, opening out, drawing the shoulders in. Keep going in your own rhythm. Breathing in to curl down. Breathing out to open out. Do one more time. And our arms can come down. All right, so we're going to start today with our empty steps. So float your weight onto one side, and then you might lift the heel and draw the toes and knees so they're in the same direction, pointing the direction you're going to step. And then we're going to take our hands. So one hand is at heart level and the other hand is at our dantian, our kind of lower belly. Drop your elbows, drop your shoulders. Notice if your knee is locked. Knee joint needs to be a little bit bent to keep these muscles switched on. Feel your glute muscle. Notice if it's working for you. And just take a moment to notice how you feel in this shape. This is our empty step. So if I was to lift this foot off the ground, I would still be stable. Only do this if you feel stable. No weight on it. Maybe it's just holding me in place a little bit. All right, let's come down and let's just try on the other side. Float your weight over to the other side. Lift the heel. When you're ready, lower hand, that's the direction we're going to be stepping. Upper hand at the heart. Drop the elbows, drop the shoulders. Is that knee bent? Back of the knee is just a little bit soft. Rest through that Yongchen point, the bubbling spring point it's called, underneath your foot. And you might test maybe, only if you feel stable. You want all the weight on this side. So this side is substantial. This side is heavy. This side is our yin side, our light side, our insubstantial side. All right, let's come back down. So we'll practice a few empty steps and then we'll do some very simple, well, maybe not so simple Qigong forms just to see if we can feel that movement within the body. So you might like to just scan through the whole body, notice how you feel. And you feel crown of the head lifting up. And you feel the chest sinking, the back expanding. And you feel the shoulders heavy. Take a breath or two here. Never in a rush to start our Tai Chi form. When you're ready, take a breath in. We're going to sigh out and take our heel out and then our toe. And when your whole foot is on the ground, we're going to lean forward. And then we're going to lean back. Keep the heel where it is. Turn the toes in so that they're a little pigeonholed. And we're going to shift our weight over to the other side. And now let's take another empty step. Draw the toes in. All right, when you're ready, take a breath in. Sighing out when our heel comes down. Toes come down. When our whole foot is on the ground, we shift the weight. And then we're going to lean back. All right. So just get that sense of how to step. So a lot of people tend to lift when they step, but we just want to be sinking. So our heel is coming down, our toes come down, then we shift our weight, then we shift our weight back. All right. Let's do some very simple forms just to practice our empty step. Won't be perfect yet, that's for sure. Let's start. We'll start with a dragon form. So shift your weight onto this leg. You can just mirror me if you like. We're going to take a breath in. Maybe just watch the first one because it does involve turning away from the camera. As we step out, heel, toe. Sweep the hand as you sigh out. The top hand comes like a tail over the head. And the bottom hand opens out. Now I'm going to lean back, lift my toes, turn my body, bring the hand that has swept behind on top. And then when all my attention is back on this leg, I simply float back. Now my hands are ready to start on the other side. Take my empty step, breathing in, sighing out, stepping out, sweep the hand, lean back, lift the toes, shift the weight. Only when all your weight has come onto the other leg do you swap where you are. Let's do a few more. Let's just see if we can find a little bit of rhythm here. Maybe your dragon is majestic. Maybe it's a little awkward. Take your time. And remember that our hand is just guiding the spine. Don't feel like you need to make a big movement with your arm. Keep that connection of spine and hand. Maybe one more. And we'll bring our palms back onto the belly. You might like to just remind yourself, I am home, I am here in this moment. Allow your body to heal and repair. No rush to the next thing. All right, let's try another form that involves the theory of empty steps. So shift our weight onto one leg. This one is a deer form. We're going to take two kind of deer horns with our hands and extend them out to the side, away from the direction you're moving. Just like before, our solid leg is a little bent. All our weight is on that leg. Take a breath in. As we step out, heel and then toe. Sweep the arms around, sigh out. This time we're going to take the hands above, lift the toes all the way over, stepping back, and then switching sides. Inhale, exhale. Let the movement come to you slowly and naturally. Take your time. Notice when you shift your weight. Notice when one leg moves from yang to yin. Let's do one more each side. Now we'll just bring our palms back onto the belly. All right, so today's form is part the horse's mane. This is in many, many different Tai Chi forms, a kind of foundational thing to learn. Let's start just where we were, shifting the weight onto one side, stacking our hands. Might like to just cue through the body again. Find the bubbling spring point underneath the ball of the foot. Press through it. Back of the knee soft, tailbone tucked under. Feel the crown of the head lifting. Shoulders are heavy. Chest is soft. Back is expanded, raised. All right. So this form goes something like this. We're going to take a breath. As we sigh out, step out our heel and then our toe. When all our foot is on the ground, this hand is going to sweep. Yin and yang of our palms come together and then separate. And we take our hand has guided our spine out to this point. This is the point where shoulder and hip are connected, elbow and knee are connected, and foot are connected. These three internal or external harmonies of the body. Now notice this hand is right next to the waist and it's active, it's not limp. And obviously we're going very slow here. Let's shift our weight back. Now we're going to lift the toes, turn the feet in. And now shift our whole body's weight to the other side. Turn the palms, yin and yang, meet again. Draw the toes back. So now we're in our empty step on the other side. We're going to keep going in very slow motion. I hope that's okay. Take a breath in. As we sigh out, heel, toe. Now the whole foot's on the ground. Let's shift the weight and we're going to use this hand to guide the spine. Arms come together and then separate. We're twisting, turning. Now we'll lean back. Lift the toes, turn the body. Let's shift our weight. Arms come together. There's a lot going on. Take your time. And now we're going to move a little bit more naturally from side to side. Just remember as many of those little cues you can. Every time you practice is another opportunity to take your attention somewhere else. See if you can do the form where all your attention is underneath the feet, not so much in the hands. Find a rhythm with your own breath. If all the cues in this form feel overwhelming, just focus on one thing, maybe just beneath the toes. We find this ability to differentiate between empty and solid, heaviness and lightness. Everything in life is always flowing, always moving between high and low, between good and bad, long and short, difficult and easy. How do we make ourselves ready, prepared, able to adapt, able to change? If you can find this constant fluid motion that we achieve through Tai Chi, always ready, always moving, but moving with effortlessness and simplicity, ready for anything. Do one more time. And we'll come back to center, bring our palms back onto the body. You might like to scan from head to toe, noticing how you feel. Today's practice, we might just finish with some very simple body movements, just to loosen everything up. Let's let our arms be heavy. Roll the hips, roll the shoulders back. You might like to take one hand a little higher, reach over the shoulder. And when you're ready, come back to the center, just shake out arms, shake out legs. We'll bring our palms together at heart center, create a little bit of heat. You might like to bring those hands up to the face. Just a moment in gratitude for choosing to practice on this day. Everything we practice grows stronger. Everything we practice becomes an inclination of our mind, our autonomous body. When you're ready, let's take our loose fist into our palm, yang meeting in, wrap the palm over, draw it to the heart and bow to each other.